around very quickly and introduce ourselves. So I'm Kathy Terrill. I love to be selling. I've been selling on eBay for well over 15 years. I started very small and casual. So if you're a part-time seller, welcome, welcome. And I did that while my mom was sick because I needed something part-time. And then after my mother passed, I grew and scaled my eBay business. I am a full-time seller. I've had the great honor to be on the eBay for Business radio show, the podcast, and to present on main stage with eBay staff. I run an eBay seller group on Facebook, eBay Selling Nothing But eBay Selling, and I have an eBay Selling membership group. Love to be selling insiders, and it is my absolute pleasure and joy to join Theresa and to join Phillip. So Phillip, you're next.
Yes, thank you. I'm Phillip. I am based in Orlando. I went full-time on eBay about 13 years ago, having been a hobby seller before that. I deal with mostly professional electronics. And if you want to hear more from me, I do a little podcast called the Selling on eBay radio show. And you can find that wherever you get your podcasts.
All right, I'm Theresa Cox, and I have been selling on eBay for over 25 years now. I started out doing it part-time as a hobby and worked into full-time probably 6 or 7 years ago now. I started selling red things. I'm known as Club Red 97. And like most of us on here, we branched out to selling other things. And now I do a little bit of everything. I also run a annual seller event in Las Vegas, the Boss Reseller Remix group. We have a Facebook group. I do a virtual meetup group. Happy to be here. I love newbies. I love helping people. I love eBay. And so we're here to answer your questions so that everybody can get the most out of eBay Open this year.
Great. So Stephanie, can I get the first slide and we can get right to it with our tips, or whoever's handling the slides? Oh, there we go. Thank you so much. So here we are. So next slide, you guys. Good. So we're here to help you to plan your eBay Open experience. And we're going to be going round robin with tips. And then we're also going to be answering your questions about attending eBay Open. So the first one is, I just want to point out it's well worth attending live. Most of the sessions are taped. So it's great, to be able to go over them again, but there's nothing like attending live. Super exciting, just like the chat and the event that you were just in with Rebecca. The other thing is there's a live Q&A function, which is super, super helpful. And there's literally dozens, if not hundreds of eBay staff on the ready to be answering your questions. So definitely consider, clearing your schedule and getting in and attending live so that you can take advantage of those Q&A parts to each session. So look right now, it opens not till September 21st through 23rd. Look at your schedule now to see what you can do to shift things around. And then Phillip?
As Rebecca mentioned earlier, particularly across days 2 and day 3, some of the sessions are repeated. So don't worry too much if you can't attend your first choice first time around. It may well come up on the second day. And I'd say also on that point, if you want to get value out of the expo hall, sometimes when the sessions are running is when it's quieter in there and you can get more time with people at that time. So maybe if a session that you want to go to is being repeated, you might at that point want to give priority to a good discussion in the expo hall if that's giving you better value. You could pick up the presentation second time around maybe.
Awesome advice. So another thing that is going to be great for all of us is that the presentations are going to be recorded and we can view them later. I like to take notes while I'm watching a presentation, and then I can go back and look at it again and fill in my notes. If you are at a session and there's something particular that you love about it or something your favorite, be sure to post about it on social media. Use the hashtag eBay Open 2022. And then if we all see that and there's something that sparks your interest, I may make the decision to go back and watch that one, in another session or after eBay Open. So think about that, as if we were there in person. We'd be talking in a hallway and we say, hey, did you hear that one about Terra Peak? It was really good. You need to go do that. We can use that with social media and take advantage of the fact that these all are going to be recorded and posted to the eBay for Business YouTube channel.
It's a great point, Theresa. And then I want to point out that the seller, if you hear some noise, I'm in New York City and I'm on a very lively block. Seller-led presentations offer loads of tips and tricks, and you're coming, right from your fellow seller. I do encourage you, and obviously, you're going to be looking at what your priorities are for the sessions, and we're going to talk about that. But when somebody looks really interesting, or you go, what, I don't know anything about that category, I encourage you to sort of step outside the box and attend some sessions with categories that you're not necessarily familiar with. Because when sellers give tips, like when it's Theresa, when it's sellers like Phillip, I know it's going to be useful for me, even if I may not sell in their exact category. So open can be a great chance to step outside the box and try some different categories. Stephanie, can we get the next slide? Oh, a couple of questions. So Theresa, I don't know if you can see this. What's the best session? This is a good one for maximizing coupons for stores. So what session's talking about promotions and specifically about the coupon promotions for eBay stores?
So I don't know the specific sessions, but I didn't see that question. So is it, they're just asking what session that would,
I think generally, and what I was thinking, Theresa, I don't know if you caught it, was Perrin, I believe Perrin, who is with the promotions team. His entire session is on promotions. And if you don't know Perrin, he was in the group that actually beta tested coupons when they first rolled out. So Daniel, I would definitely attend Perrin's session, and I don't have the agenda in front of me.
Yeah.
Perhaps one of the team members could put it up, but I would absolutely attend his session on promotions. And then the other one was Sarah is doing one on your eBay data. It's a seller-led session. She might have some information on looking at promotion data. I'm not sure of what her agenda is for her session, but definitely take a look at Perrin's session. Okay, I'm trying to see what else. How long? Does anybody know this? I'm throwing this to Phillip or Theresa. How long are the live sessions? Do we know what time they're scheduled?
The whole agenda is out there and it's published. If you just go to ebayopen.com, you can pull up the agenda and start planning now. You can see the duration of the sessions, what time you want to be available. And if you like, you can build your own personal timetable so you know when to jump ship and join different sessions and things. So it's all out there if you need it right now.
That's great, Phillip. Thanks so much. So Theresa, could you look the first question up there? Not first question, but talking point about don't forget to follow the chat window. You want to read that off and talk about that?
Okay, yeah. So the chat window is great to interact with your fellow sellers and to talk to them. But the best way to do get your questions answered is to post it in the Q&A. You can see how the chat goes by really, really fast. And so we may not see those questions, or the presenters may not see those questions in chat. And so if you do have a question, be sure to do it in Q&A and use the chat to, just like we're doing now, to react to the content, to talk about what's worked for you and so on and so forth. It's a great way, it's kind of like we're all in the same room texting each other or something. So use the chat for that purpose.
Great idea. Thank you. Phillip, you want to handle the next one?
Yeah, I think the thing with this event is to think about things before you arrive. What are the problems that you have faced? What are the challenges? What are the potential directions you may want to go with your business? Where can you get information to make the next round of decisions in your particular eBay business? So I think it's important to have some agenda before you attend, some idea what you want to get out of the session, have some goals in mind. Maybe you're looking at going into a new category area, taking on some different products, investing in a particular piece of equipment or capabilities. These are all good questions to have. And then you can target your viewing with a view to trying to get answers to those questions. And also, I would certainly encourage you to try and explore those ideas with people more one-on-one, either through the Q&A sessions or through the expo hall to get some detailed advice. But if you don't think about it beforehand, you tend to forget about stuff until just afterwards, and then you regret the fact you didn't ask the questions. So
it's so true, because it goes by so fast,
it
Phillip.
Does, yeah.
Thank you for that encouragement. And I'm going to say, challenge your assumptions. This is particularly true for those of us that have been selling for a while. When you're looking at certain topics or certain speakers, you might think, oh, I sort of know that, or oh, I've sort of heard that before. It's good to go in as much as you can, be willing to listen. Be willing to try new things. Also to hear something again, because you may have tried something or heard something 6 months ago or a year ago or a couple of years ago, and it might be time to revisit it. So definitely be willing to challenge your assumptions. And what ideas, and again, Phillip addressed this, what ideas can you take away from the different sessions that you can test for yourself? And that's why taking notes is super helpful, whatever works for you on that. Theresa, I'm going to let you handle the next one.
So use this event as a strategic review for your business. Everybody's on a different path or different part of their journey. And some things, some might be fairly new, some might be more seasoned. I'm a seasoned seller, but I always learn something at eBay Open. There's something that a new feature or something that even an old feature that I maybe not be using the way somebody else was using it. So what we suggest is that you take a look at the agenda, look at the topics, and just kind of map out what you think will work for your business, what sounds interesting. And then you can work up your agenda that way. But, I already you go through the topics, you see what sparks an interest in you and what you want to learn for your business. And then maybe talk to some of your reseller friends, your meetups and Facebook groups on social media, whatever, and ask everyone what they think is interesting to them. And then kind of collaborate, come up with your schedule and map it out, and then start there. And you can always make adjustments the day of and, change things around. You're not, it's not like you're going to be in a room where you're locked in and you can't leave and change. But because sometimes I'll do that. I was like, this is my first choice for this time. This is my second choice. And maybe I'll toggle back and forth. And you can do that too, which is really nice with a virtual event.
That's such a great point. And I was thinking too, Theresa, because I know you have a lot of seller friends, Phillip, you too. Another thing, and it's not one of the talking points, I'm throwing this in as a bonus, is team up with selling buddies. Sometimes it's so challenging because, again, a lot of the stuff's recorded, which is great, but you want to take advantage of the Q&As. Is team up with a selling buddy and say, okay, you're going to do this and I'm going to do this. And then you meet later, that day or during breaks and compare notes. So definitely consider that one. Some things just look so tantalizing and it's hard to pick, and you want to attend them both live. I want to encourage you to leave the event. So leave eBay open. And this is true whether you're a new seller or for those of us that are further along the selling path, with a plan for the next 2 months. I mean, really listen to the information and go, what can I be using for fourth quarter, October, November, December? What could I be using perhaps for, the new year going into the next year? What does eBay do best is a great one to be thinking about. What are eBay's strong suits that I can take advantage of as a seller? And look for agenda topics that are going to help me with that. And how can I, and it's interesting that people asked about coupons, because coupons are a great strength of eBay. How can I leverage eBay's strengths is a good one. So I'm just going to see, we've got more questions. Oh, that one. Okay, thanks. Stephanie's giving me little prompts. So somebody asked about my Facebook group for sellers. It's eBay selling, nothing but eBay selling. And we do welcome sellers of all levels. So there's new sellers and then sellers that are further along, but all are welcome. So come on. And we are global too, by the way. So I have sellers in there from UK, Canada, Australia, all around the world. So thank you for that question. Stephanie, can we get the next slide? And then again, I'm trying to think, Phillip, Theresa, before we jump on any further, anything else from what Rebecca said that sort of was a light bulb moment for you? Anything really trigger thoughts for you, or you go, you know what, I'm going to go back and look at that, or things that really jumped out at you that you want to make sure that you do during eBay Open? Phillip?
I think she was right when she said the expo hall is perhaps underrated and under-recognized. I think comparing it to the live in-person events, the expo hall is a fantastic resource because you can wander around there when the session's running. It's usually fairly quiet. You can get a lot of one-on-one time with people to really drill down to get your specific problem solved. And if they're replicating that in the virtual platform, that would be an amazing opportunity. And listening to the questions coming past, some of these are very specific. And that's your opportunity to get those answered by an expert in that particular subject. So I would encourage you to take a look at that and take advantage of it, because those guys are very accessible at the event and hard to track down, frankly, outside the event.
It's so spot on, Phillip. Thank you. Theresa?
I was going to say the expo hall as well, but I would focus on, and I think that they're going to put this up somewhere, but the different teams that are going to be in the expo hall.
I think it's our last slide. They're going to put it up again for us, Theresa.
Yeah, so you can take a screenshot of it. It'll be our last slide. But if you have a question, I saw something in the questions about immediate payment. So if you have managed payment questions, if you have promoted listings questions, there's the team. Government relations is a hot topic right now. That team is going to be in the booth, and you can ask your very specific questions. And one of the things that I like to do, and actually I've already started this, is as I'm working through my day, and I have a question about something, I have an electronic file that I have on my computer, and I just go over there and I type the question in, like, hey, when are we going to get that immediate payment? And, or, what's happening with coupons? And so, because this is how you get your questions answered. And a lot of times you get more information on a one-on-one than you will get if they can, something that they'll post to a web page or something like that. So start now in your day-to-day working thing to write your questions down as you're working, like, hey, wait, why can't I do this with shipping? And why can't I do this if I want to, do a coupon or whatever it might be? Because you're never going to remember it during eBay Open. So make that list ahead of time, and then be prepared to go to visit those teams and those booths to answer your questions.
Thank you. That is so great. I'm going to answer one question over here because it's sort of long, which was about Terapeak. So we had a question about using Terapeak, and just to let you know, there is a session on Terapeak. So I really encourage you to attend it if you're like, I never use Terapeak, or I use it all the time, or I only use it for certain things. Whatever, is definitely attend. There's a specific session on Terapeak. And like Phillip said, go to the agenda. It's 3 days. So if you don't see it on the first day, don't think it's not there. Okay. So keep going.
And the times are on the agenda. I just looked at it. On the left-hand side, the timing's there. That's Pacific time. People asked about that as well.
Perfect. So take a look at that. It says, optimize your business by harnessing the power of eBay data with Terapeak. Okay. And then, Phillip, I'm going to throw this to you. Is I would love a selling mentor. And I'm new and totally confused. Any such thing?
Yeah, lots. First thing I would look into is whether there's a meetup group or something similar in your area, because that's the best way is to do it face-to-face if you can. If not, you can typically take part in.
And hang on a second. And Phillip runs a meetup group in Florida.
I do a meetup group in Florida.
And Theresa runs a meetup group in Arizona. Are you still running your meetup group? Are you guys meeting, Theresa?
I do a virtual one now.
Great. So Theresa's got a virtual one, and I run one in the greater New York City area. So definitely go on the eBay site and look for the meetup group. Sorry to cut off there, Phillip. I was trying to give a plug to everybody's meetup. Yeah. But that's also on the community boards. There is a mentor function where you can go in and ask a mentor. And the other thing, is attend eBay Open, because you're going to get tons and tons of great information. I'm sure you're going to meet selling buddies in the chat function, and you're going to learn oodles right there. So that'll get you going. But welcome all the new sellers. Please don't feel intimidated. There's tons of information in Open for you. And also, Rebecca brought it up. If you look at the tracks, there's agenda points that are pointed more towards basic or foundational, and then more advanced. So if you're new, perhaps stick to the basic foundational agenda points, and you'll really enjoy that. Theresa, would you handle, there's a Q&A window?
Oh yeah. So I kind of talked about this a little bit more. Q&A.
Oh, sure. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah. It's Q&A, because it kind of goes with the chat. Everybody's in the chat all the time. If you have a question, the best way to get it seen and answered is to post it in the Q&A tab. And you can see at the top of the chat, there's chat, polls, people, and then Q&A. And if there's questions in there, there'll be a little red dot by it. So, just kind of poke around, you'll see it. And eBay, there's a ton of eBay team members there waiting to answer questions. And so be sure to post your questions in there, and you will get answers for them.
That's great. Stephanie, can we get the last slide that has all the expo booths? I think we had added that to our deck. Yay, good, it's there. You guys grab your phones right now or grab a screenshot. This is recorded, but this will help you enormously. These are all the teams that are in the expo hall, and it includes some sponsors. These are great. And there's oodles of staff in each booth. And people have asked, what are the times for the expo hall? And it's going to be 8 a.m. Pacific time. That's eBay time, California, to 1 p.m. eBay time. So translate. And I believe when you're logging in, and Stephanie or Allison or somebody correct me, typically the booths will open up maybe 15 minutes beforehand. But definitely they're open, all during the event. But obviously, you guys, now you know this. When Jamie Iannone is presenting, Expo Hall is not open. Very much like eBay Open. When there's main stage presentations, which is Jamie Iannone and other wonderful senior executives, the Expo Hall is not open. You want to go into the Expo Hall when you're on breaks, and then it's going to be open till 1 p.m. Pacific time. So you will have time during the breaks to get in there. Stephanie, let me know when there's the regular presentations, not that we don't want to attend every seller presentation and everything else, but can we get into the Expo Hall when there's regular presentations going on, not the main stage? We can. Thank you, Allison. So when Jamie is presenting, and I do encourage you, actually, Jamie dropped a super nugget in his presentation last year. So when it's a main stage presentation, which if you've attended eBay Open many years ago, it was like the big main stage event. When the CEO speaks, when senior executives speak, Expo Hall is not open. But when the other rooms are going on, it is open. So it's the perfect time to jump in there. And Allison said they will be open earlier, but the booths won't be staffed until starting 8 a.m. Is that Pacific time? I'm trying to look at my time zones because here I am.
Probably. Yeah. Everything's
8 a.m. So 8 a.m. Pacific time for us New Yorkers, that's starting at noon. Okay. So go in there and look at this, you guys. eBay stores, eBay shipping, eBay marketing, seller events, the party team, messaging. I mean, it's super, super wonderful list. I'm trying to think, do we have more questions? Pacific time, yes. Everything, eBay time, everything Pacific time. However, once you're logged in, once you've signed up for the event, you should see the times in your time zones, okay? But when you see a message like on eBay for Business or out there in the universe, it will always state eBay time, which is out in California. So hang on a second. Philip, if you would grab this. Philip or Theresa, do you know, we're being asked, how do people find the meetup group for their area? Where can they go to find that?
I would just search the meetup platform under eBay to start with. I think most groups are hosting on both the eBay system and on Meetup. Meetup is where I'd start, or eBay or sellerevents.ebay.com would be the second place I'd search.
Yes, it is on seller events. You'll see all the meetups, and I believe it has. If it doesn't have a map, you'll see the various places. But if you search eBay meetups, you'll see it. But it should be also in the community hub. Allison, correct me if I'm wrong, or Theresa. I believe.
Yeah, I put a link in there at sellerevents.ebay.com.
Thank you, Theresa.
And then if you when you log in, you have to use your eBay login, and then it goes by region. And so,
yes.
So for those of you that want to join the virtual meetup group, I did put it in the chat, but it's under Arizona, so that's a tough one. People don't know what area to find.
I was going to say, Theresa, we have an Arizonian, a neighbor who wants to know, how can she find your meetup group because she wants to attend.
I posted the link for EVs. You can look on Facebook, EVs, EVIES, and so you can join that Facebook group, and we'll get you in the local area one. And then I put the link in for the virtual one as well. But all of that is in the sellerevents.ebay.com. You just have to look in your click on your region, and it'll show all the meetups in that area.
Perfect. So just to wrap up, Philip, one last thought as we wave goodbye to everybody to see them later, September 21st. One closing thought for everyone.
Preparation. It's, as we were talking earlier about, jot down your problems, your challenges, your questions, your ideas, and make sure that you use the event to get as many of those answered as you possibly can.
Theresa, closing thought?
My closing thought is that while the chat is great, sometimes I feel like on these calls, we spend too much time chatting and not enough time listening. And so try to have a balance there. And just, because you will get a lot out from the presentations and the speakers. And but you still want to have the live aspect of the chat. So just try to balance that out so you can make sure that you get the most out of it.
Great. And my closing thought is, come ready to have a blast. It is so much fun. The energy, you will be re-energized by your fellow sellers, by the staff, by the executives. It's so much wonderful information. You will be so re-enthused. If you're not totally enthused about eBay selling, you're going to want to stick eBay hats on, eBay shirts, eBay everything. And also that beautiful black bag, which Theresa helped design, by the way. I'm going to give Theresa a plug on that because it's gorgeous. So please, everybody, be prepared to just have an absolute blast, to have the best time. Thank you for joining us for this sneak peek. Thank you, Theresa. Thank you, Phillip. I'm Kathy. And we'll see everybody at eBay Open. Bye-bye, everybody.